It's the first loss of the Kenny Dillingham era after the Sun Devils fall 27-15 to the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Jordan Spurgeon, Jordan Ham, they held a lead 15-10. Things were looking good in the first half, and in the second half they get shut out. Couldn't get it rolling on offense. It seemed like the running game especially was not able to get it rolling once they started playing a high safety back, take away the deep ball. This was definitely going to be a learning lesson for ASU.
Absolutely, and there's a reason that Mike Gundy has been where he has been for so long, and Kenny Dillingham even referenced that. They had conversations about being alums in a spot and what it takes for things to click. In the second half, you mentioned Oklahoma State was able to run, ASU wasn't able to run. At half, 0 rushing yards for Oklahoma State, and then they were able to really lean on the defense. That was the term that Kenny Dillingham used. And ASU just not able to do that. They went to the screen a lot to try to open things up a little bit, and it just didn't quite take. I feel like there were quite a few near misses where if, a catch is made or even, one block is made, that can open up a lot of things. It wasn't a disparity in talent. It was a disparity in execution, and I think that was the big difference in this game tonight.
Yeah, I mean, even Jaden Rashada made some really remarkable throws in the second half a couple times. Just missed Xavier Gilroy at one point, just doesn't catch a ball right there in the flat. Could have gone for a touchdown potentially on fourth down. So that's something that comes back. And, the other big thing for this team, 3 of their top 7 offensive linemen not able to play after Emmett Bull goes down in this game. So it felt like towards the end, once the line got worn down, there was more pressure on Rashada, and they just weren't able to overcome that lack of depth.
Yeah, not having Isaiah Glass is a big thing. Not having Cade Briggs is a big thing. Even looking back, Ben Coleman, like that, this was a guy that was going to come in, plug and play guard. They were able to roll with it. The entire time that Kenny Dillingham has been here, it's been trying to figure out those pieces to the puzzle, and then guys are starting to go down. I thought overall the offensive line played generally well. They pass protected pretty well. Jaden Rashada sacked 3 times, I believe, and he was able to get out of a couple of some trouble. But now moving forward, it's the depth. It's the can this group mold together? They got to learn pretty quickly, and Fresno State is no slouch next week, and then you have 2 really hot Pac-12 teams coming in. So that's going to be the next couple steps on the offensive side of what this is going to look like.
Yeah, and same goes on the defense too. I mean, Kenny touched on it after the game. Really great performance in the passing game from the defensive front. BJ Green, multiple sacks, was a force to be reckoned with all game long. And then once that running game started going for Oklahoma State, it was apparent that there was a lack of depth, because the offense wasn't able to put together drives, and that defense for Arizona State started to get run down, and we saw it, and that allowed Oklahoma State to open it up. So offensively on the line, some depth. Defensively, just a little bit of depth when they have to be on the field a lot seems to be something that could be a recurring issue for ASU. I don't know if there's a fix for the depth in season other than to just play better offensively.
Yeah, I think another big part, having an explosive offense a lot of times means your defense can be on the field for long amounts of time. They had quite a few explosive drives, but they also had quite a few quick drives where it was a 3 and out or a quick punt, a turnover. And they also went for it quite a few times on fourth down. They did not convert 3 times. 2 of those resulted in touchdowns. Kenny Dillingham went into the math of why it is the correct decision to do that, but ultimately, the execution has to be there to prove that math right? So that's something I think as he learns more about this team and what this team's strengths are, I think he'll start to cater a little bit more to the team than the math potentially. But those were 2 big drives that ultimately changes a lot in the game when 2 scores are at hand on short fields with a tired defense.
I think the growth, that's the big thing. We're going to continue to see the growth of Jaden Rashada, and of course the growth of Kenny Dillingham. Very open about it in his press conference after, how he's growing, how he has to grow, and I think we're seeing the signs that it's going to work out just fine for Kenny Dillingham. Next up, Fresno State into town, have a chance to get back above 500. It's going to be an interesting game for ASU.
Yeah, and for Fresno State, they had to go to double overtime against Eastern Washington Maybe they were looking ahead to Arizona State, but Mikey Keene coming in at quarterback, former Chandler Wolf. The last time he played a high school game was on this field. He won an Open Division championship, so plenty of cool storylines there. But Fresno State, a Mountain West team, definitely no slouch. They beat ASU at the Vegas Bowl a couple of years ago, so this is a team that they shouldn't overlook, especially when you have some really good Pac-12 teams coming in the following weeks.